anyway, today I wanted to, go live about a big list of things that are good to know before you start traveling. So let me try to share my screen. Hopefully this is it. Okay, well, let me try to see that. Okay, hopefully you can see it. Let me just double check. Okay, so I am going to be launching a program, the first program, my beta program in January 9th. And so this is a list of all the content of what I'm going to be going through during my 12-week program on how to travel extensively as a family and world school your kids. I'm sharing my content because, whether or not you sign up for my program, which I hope you will, because it'll be tons of fun. And, basically it took me a year and a half of information before I started traveling world schooling 6 years ago and have it all condensed into 12 weeks. And we'll be meeting multiple times. But you can take this list and research all this stuff yourself. Obviously there are, you can Google things, there's Facebook blogs, there's lots of Facebook groups that you can go and search around in. But my program is going to be kind of taking all this major stuff and helping guide a group of awesome parents through this, so you can launch into this lifestyle with much more confidence and ease and not make so many newbie mistakes. So anyway, obviously at the beginning, you need to, learn a little bit about world schooling and extended family travel and make the decision and, really get into the right mindset, because I think a lot of people don't exactly know what world schooling is. They think you have to homeschool your kids while you travel, but there's other options. And I've published a video, let me know if you want to link to it, talking about the 6 different ways to world school. Actually, there's more, but those are the 6 most popular ways. So let me know if you want that. So yeah, we'll talk about what is world schooling, whether or not you have to travel full-time or you can do it part-time or intermittently. Why world school? What are the benefits of world schooling? Is this life possible? I think there are a few things you have to have, some ducks in a row you have to have in order to launch into this lifestyle. So I will be sharing, the reasons, what holds you back and what can help you launch into this lifestyle. And, are all family members on board. One of my twins wants a break from traveling. We've been doing it for 6 years, so she wants a break. She's a teenager now. She really wanted to focus on a social life. The other one still has a social life while we're traveling, but she's much more happy to be nomadic and world school and travel. But, sometimes maybe there's a spouse. So we can talk about, what to do if that comes up. And then, once you make a decision to do this, I want to help you create your dream life, because there's so many different ways to do it. So what do you envision and how can we make that possible? There's a lot of fears, a lot of misconceptions. Sometimes we deal with some issues and criticism from family and friends, especially about socialization and other things, or safety. And so I will help you, overcome those fears and make sure that you're comfortable with this decision, because it's, again, I'm a solo parent, been doing this for 6 years. And if I can do it, a lot of other people can do it. So, and then part 2, we get into the, the nitty gritty of, planning, all the logistics, all the decisions you have to make and what to do with your home base. So, it's a good idea to make a deadline. When do you want to launch? What's your budget going to be for traveling? That depends on your living standards and your expectations. What's the cost of living, where you're going to be traveling to, how to fund this. Now, I did create a PDF of 235 income ideas to fund family travel and world schooling. I mean, most of them are digital nomad jobs, but lots of obscure interesting things. And then some are things you can do while traveling. So let me know if you want a copy of it and I can email it to you. And then while we're talking about finances, taxes, there are tax benefits to being outside of at least the US and actually other countries. If you're outside of your tax country, there's you can get a discount on taxes, a tax break. So that is something we will be talking about. And then obviously, if you own a home or you rent it, what to do with your house and all of your belongings. Are you going to sell everything and start traveling? I know lots of people who have done that. Some of them did it and then a year or so later, when they decided they wanted to stop traveling, it was kind of expensive for them to get back into the lifestyle that they used to have. So I know the real estate prices are kind of up and down, and interest rates are up and down. So we'll be talking about that, pros and cons for selling versus renting it out, or, getting an Airbnb, and what to do with all your stuff if you're going to sell it or save it, store it, keep it, donate it. That's a process. It takes many months. And then, what bills can you cancel, or what do you have to keep? What are your new bills? Like, you may be getting travel insurance, and then what to do with all your mail, your snail mail. Banking. I'll be recommending the bank I use in the US, which is great for traveling, but also some European banks and other banks from around the world that are great. And also, some people get travel rewards credit cards and get to travel for a big discount or free sometimes with putting everything on it. And then, travel health insurance, whether or not to get immunizations or vaccines before you travel, traveling with COVID still out there in the world, planning healthcare when traveling, healthcare abroad, or any health issues. One of my daughters and I, we both have thyroid issues. So we've had to sometimes go and find a place to get blood drawn, and, our thyroid levels checked, and going to pharmacies and getting the medication. So we've had a couple other minor emergency room visits, but we can talk about that. And then, planning for worst case scenarios and contingencies. Somebody asked me about that as a solo parent, what to do. And I did post a quick little reel on Facebook and Instagram. You can check that out. Also, it's a great idea to get a will or power of attorney for certain things. Residency. Now, certain countries you can deregister, not the US, but a lot of European countries, it's a good idea to deregister as a tax resident, because then you'll save on taxes, and also deregister your kids from school. And then if you have pets, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to travel with them, find a pet sitter, have somebody take care of them while you're away? And then week 3, we get further into planning, learn more about stuff to know more, make more decisions, and start booking your travel. So first, you have to decide how long you're going to travel, if it's full time or just for a few months, if you're taking a gap year or you're just doing this forever. Are you going to travel fast and, just try to see a bunch of bucket list things in a year, or are you going to travel slow? What are the pros and cons on that? Or maybe eventually, you're going to get a home base somewhere and then travel from there. Adjusting to your family's needs. Maybe you have to work in a certain time zone. Maybe you have health issues or pet things. So how to adjust your travel for what your family requires. Preparing your kids and getting them ready for this trip, and also hopefully getting them involved with the planning if they're old enough to kind of put their 2 cents in. Where to go and destinations. Now, I posted about the top 5 world school destinations for newbies. So let me know if you want me to tag you in that article, that post. Some people like to do certain themes while they're traveling. Maybe they're foodies and they want to go to all the foodie capitals of the world or whatnot. Climate, a lot of people love to travel when it's hot and sunny. And that helps with not having to pack so much heavy clothes. But I personally love different seasons. So, how to choose where to travel, how to look up the climate and the weather. Passports are obviously a great idea to get in advance, because some government passport offices have a long wait to get an appointment. Visas, do you need a visa? Can you get a visa upon arrival, or do you need to apply for it in advance online or going to an embassy? And then, of course, we'll talk about the different modes of transportation. My girls and I, we've flown on planes and taken trains, buses, we've rented cars, we've rented camper vans. So many different ways. And I have friends who have traveled along around the world, or at least like a big continent, on bicycles. So, what mode of transportation are you going to do? And then the best ways to book travel to get, really good airfares and good times to travel, booking accommodations. There's obviously Airbnb and a bunch of other apps, but sometimes there might be local ways to book accommodations. So we'll talk about that. How to save money money and travel more economically, what to buy for traveling. You might be buying a special luggage or backpacks or lots of, travel gadgets for your trip. What to pack. Now, I will be doing a packing video soon and I'll share my packing list of all the things that we've been taking and, for traveling for 6 years. And, how to pack, packing cubes versus compression bags, and whether to roll or lay flat. So I will be talking about how best to pack things, knowing about, electricity voltages around the world, whether or not to get a VPN, your mobile phone, how to be able to use your phone around the world, because your plan might not be, it might be expensive to do all the roaming. So there's other alternatives for that. I did a video on a couple apps that are super helpful for traveling, Google Maps and Google Translate. So post or check that out, and I'll be talking about loads more. Entertainment, how to be entertained while you're traveling, maybe download some stuff before you get on that long train ride where maybe you might not have, the TVs that they have on the planes or Wi-Fi, what important documents to bring. And then, you need to notify your banks and credit cards that you're going to be traveling so you can use those. They don't think that there's fraud going on. Planning for worst case scenarios, last minute checklist before you launch into your travels. And then you're off. So we'll talk about, easy, going through airports without missing your flight and going through security on the plane. Again, some of you travel a lot. You may already know this, but I can share some tips and tricks on how to make traveling with your kids a little easier. Once you arrive, going through immigration, I've made a little mistake in the past where I got the wrong visa upon arrival, and we had to leave Bali to go to Singapore for an expensive long weekend. So things that you need to be aware of that I should have been aware of back then when I first started traveling, things like that. Mobile phone plans, if you can get a SIM card in the new country, sometimes they have them at the airport, other times they don't. ATMs and money exchanges. I actually had somebody skim 2 of my debit cards, and a month later, they drained one of my bank accounts of $10,000, and that was a big hassle. I got the money back, but I had to jump through a lot of hoops for my bank to get my money back because it was fraud. Avoiding scams, staying safe, avoiding theft. I have some tips and tricks on that. And, how do you get to your lodging if you don't have data on your phone yet? How do you get there? Sometimes Uber is not legal everywhere. And then just checking into your hotel or Airbnb or whatever you have and getting settled in. What I typically do when we first get settled in to get a little grocery shopping done, and just, deal with jet lag. And then the next part is culture, community, and relationships, and just daily life, just getting into the groove. And, what are you going to do and see once you're at this amazing location? And, are you going to go check out some cool entertainment stuff? Is there going to be some culture shock? How to deal with that? And, trying all the different foods and trying not to get sick, because that's happened to me a few times. Shopping for groceries when you don't speak the language, you can't read the labels. How do you handle that? Dealing with laundry. I mean, hopefully there's a washer where you're staying, but a lot of countries don't have it. Like, people drop it off at a laundry mat. Either do the laundry yourself or you drop it off and have them do it. Dealing with language barriers, learning a new language. We have been trying to improve our Spanish over the years, and I can share how we've been doing that. And then immersing yourself into the local culture and community. And, I'm always saying this lifestyle is not a vacation. You're not just going to a resort and being a tourist. It's a really great idea to, really get to know some locals and the local culture. So how do you do that in a really nice way that's safe and fun, and have, the different cultural immersions with each other, like they would probably want to learn a little about your family and your culture, the people you meet. And then volunteering, finding community, it's a big one. I have posted about this in the past, whether it's finding World School hubs or other travelers, other expats and locals. So we'll be talking about how to do this because, kids, we're all social creatures, but especially kids, and, how to make sure they're not just with mom and dad traveling and with their siblings, and how to meet other people. And we have been able to meet the same families multiple times over the years. So it's not just saying hello, playing with people with some play dates and saying goodbye, we'll never see you again. We actually do see some of the families again. So I can give you tips about that. Finding local support, whether it's, medical, or you need some therapy, or you want some religious services. So how to find that. And then connecting as a family and as a couple. I think a pre-world schooling lifestyle, a lot of families were living a traditional life. Maybe your kids were going to a regular school, and you or your spouse were going to the office and commuting, and in the morning you just separate, you go your separate ways, and then come back in the evening. And you're going to be spending a lot more time together as a traveling world schooling family, most likely. And how to better connect and, really bond with each other. And then getting into a regular routine. I think some people are a little against this lifestyle because they think kids need structure, but you can create structure, having a regular routine, no matter where in the world you are. Like in the mornings, we always do this. And then on Wednesdays, we do this. On Fridays, we do this. I mean, getting into a regular routine is possible when you're traveling. And then, working remotely as a digital nomad, dealing with time differences, keeping in touch with friends and family. It's really hard when I'm on the other side of the planet, when I'm trying to keep in touch with my mom and other people, when it's, nighttime where they are and early morning where I am. So we can talk about that. And then, if you're going to be staying longer, getting an extension for your tourist visa or getting a residency visa. We will be talking about that. And also, traveling responsibly, flying and other modes of transportation have a very high carbon footprint. So how do you try to manage that? How do you respect the environment while you're traveling, and how to respect other cultures while you're traveling? What to do when you get homesick? A lot of people do, especially kids. For my kids, after a few weeks, when they felt like the vacation thing was over, like they kind of realized, oh my gosh, well, we're going to continue in this lifestyle, and they loved it, but they did get homesick. So how to deal with that. And then, if you're going to be ready to move on, usually after a few months, sometimes I've been in countries for 6 months or longer, I have that travel itch again, and I want to move on. So how to deal with that and wrap up where you are and get ready for your next destination. Returning home, if and when you do that, how do you make that happen as seamlessly as possible? Are you going to have culture shock, reverse culture shock, going back to your country? Are you going to see your country differently? How do you deal with that? Transitioning into an expat if you don't want to return home and you want to just stay somewhere for a while. And then part 3, I think I'm going to go week by week. Now, I do have comments on this Google Docs, and I would love to know if everyone thinks for my program, if I should dedicate a whole week per different way to world school your kids. So we'll be talking about homeschooling them yourself. I will be sharing tons of different resources and apps on how to do this on your own, or, with the help of some online apps and programs, or, personal or physical things that you bring with you. Online schools, whether they're full-on programs or part-time programs, hiring tutors, teachers, nannies at the destination or online. You can get lots of tutors online, or you hire somebody to travel with your family. In-person local schools at the destinations around the world. We've done this a couple times. World School hubs, we love visiting them, and we will share about our experience, and I'll be interviewing a lot of World School hubs on. Some of them are very organized and others are very informal. Unschooling or self-directed learning, child-led learning, your kids themselves, and then you as a parent facilitate their learning. A lot of world schoolers at least I would say a big chunk of them, at least a third, kind of get into this way to educate your kids. World schooling and unschooling are a great combination together, and it's really important to deschool. So I'll be talking more about why and how to do so. And then lastly, we'll talk about the future of world school kids. I mean, some people are afraid that they're going to ruin their kids' lives, but in fact, there's a lot of universities, a lot of employers love that these kids are global citizens. There's so many unique skills that they bring to the table, as a world schooler. And but it depends on what country you're from. So are you from a country where homeschooling is legal and acceptable or not? So we'll be talking about whether or not your kids will want to go to university, how to get them there, accreditation, umbrella schools, other options. Maybe they want to have an apprenticeship or internship, working in a paid job. Being a freelancer or starting a business, and will your kids be digital nomads? So that is my big list. So let me know if I am missing anything, and important to talk about. Now, some people, I've shared this list with a few people, and they've said, they've told me, oh, you forgot X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it's already going to be part of one of those topic lists. But let me know if I am forgetting anything important, and let me know if you have any questions. There seems to be a couple. Yes. So Zelly says, love that you're doing this community. And Kara said hi. So thank you, everyone, for watching. And if you watch the replay, just type hashtag replay. And again, this is I don't think I'm missing too many major things. I mean, there's a million questions you can ask about how to live this lifestyle. And I'm going to try my best to cover the major points in my program. And I'll be posting a lot on my Facebook group, Worldschooling, Traveling, Digital Nomad, Trailblazing Families. My business is called Trailblazing Families because we are blazing a trail and we're pioneers and innovative, because I really think more and more people will be digital nomads and travelers. And I think some of us who have kids there'll be more and more of us doing that and world schooling. So I really want to share, how to do this, and I'll be posting a lot on my profile and in my Facebook group. And then my program will be, I'll be taking that list and dividing it into 12 weeks and meeting doing a Facebook Live with my group members to share lots of details about the things that I just listed. And then Tuesday, I plan to do an interview of another world schooler family to find out how they do it. So if you're a world schooler family, let me know if you want to be interviewed, because I want to have a big variety of different families who do it different ways. And then Wednesday, I will be interviewing a world school service provider. So maybe it's a world school hub leader or an online program or a travel insurance company, any service or product that really caters to world schoolers. I want to have some in-depth interviews with them. And then Thursday, I'll be meeting in a Zoom with my group members, and we'll have kind of an accountability session, just social accountability and a Q&A. So that will be every week. We'll be doing this for 12 weeks starting January 9th. Now, my beta rate is a really great deal. Eventually, I will be charging about $1,000 for this 12-week course. I know it's a good chunk of change. But I'm planning to have over 30 hours of content at least, and really try to get like all this overwhelm and just condense it into like a step-by-step plan, A to Z, how to launch, world schooling family travel lifestyle. And I think in the end, I'll save you a lot of time. But for my first time doing it, I'm giving a big 75% discount. So it's only $250 US for, again, 12-week program, and you can be a member of it forever. I have one mom who is not planning to travel for a couple of years, but she's still joining because it's a great deal, and she knows she can do it now in January, and then she can do it again when they're more serious and about to launch. So let me know if you want to jump on a Zoom with me, and I could help answer some questions. And let me know, again, if I missed anything on my list. Is there any burning question that you need to know about before launching into this lifestyle? Okay, well, great to have you all here, and thanks again. And I hope to get your questions and continue the conversation. Bye.